to Damascus, Antioch, Asia Minor, Greece, and finally Rome. Let's explore the lives of each of them according to biblical accounts and traditions. The Apostle Peter. Peter was the oldest disciple, and it was to him that Jesus entrusted the leadership of the church and the apostles. Let's see what is written. I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. After the death of Jesus, it was Peter who led the mission to preach the gospel to all people. His missionary work continued until the end of his life, 68 years after the birth of Christ. Tradition holds that after Jesus' death, the Apostle Peter continued his missionary work for another 35 years. It is said that he was crucified in Rome, but according to tradition, he requested to be crucified upside down, as he did not consider himself worthy to die in the same manner as his Lord. Apostle Andrew. Andrew was the brother of Peter and also a fisherman. He was already a follower of John the Baptist, and when he encountered Jesus, he introduced his brother Peter to him. Andrew is mentioned at various significant moments in the Gospels and was one of the closest disciples to Jesus, along with Peter, John, and James. The apostle was present when Jesus spoke about the end times and witnessed Jesus ascending to heaven after the resurrection. Andrew played a crucial role in the expansion of the early church. Tradition suggests that Andrew faced severe torture before being crucified in Greece. He was on a mission in the province of Achaia, where he was crucified on a cross in the shape of an X. Centuries later, his remains were discovered and transported to Scotland by sea. According to legend, the ship carrying his relics sank, and to this day, there is an island named St. Andrew. John. John was the youngest disciple of Christ and was also known as the disciple whom Jesus loved. Alongside Peter and James, John was part of Jesus' inner circle of friends, witnessing miracles and revelations. He was the only apostle to accompany Christ to his crucifixion. According to tradition, John, who was still young, was thrown into boiling oil but suffered no harm. Later, by the orders of the Emperor Domitian, John was taken captive to the island of Patmos, where he received the revelation of the Apocalypse. It is believed that John died of natural causes at the age of 94 in the city of Ephesus. Philip. Philip was the third person called by Jesus to discipleship. The apostle participated in many miracles, and it was to him that Jesus posed the question of how to feed the crowd during the episode of the multiplication of loaves and fishes. Philip continued his mission in Asia, in the regions of Phrygia and Hierapolis. The story of Philip's death is unclear, and to this day, it's not precisely known how he died. There are accounts suggesting he died of natural causes, but some scholars believe he may have been hanged, stoned, or even crucified in Hierapolis. Bartholomew. There are few references in the Bible about the apostle Bartholomew. His name is mentioned only in the list of disciples, and according to some records not found in the Bible, the apostle preached from Asia Minor to India. It is said that he was skinned alive and crucified upside down in Albanopolis in Armenia. There is another version in Catholic tradition that claims he was whipped to death, and his body was thrown into the sea. Matthew. Matthew was a Jew with good financial standing as he worked as a tax collector, collecting taxes for the Roman Empire. Tax collectors were looked down upon by Jewish society, but it was while serving in this role that Jesus called him to follow. As the author of one of the Gospels, Matthew revealed many details about the ministry and life of Jesus. According to reports, the apostle traveled throughout Persia, Judea, and Ethiopia, where he is said to have been killed. The cause of his death is reported to be from a sword wound, but there are also those who believe he died of natural causes. His tomb is located in Salerno, Italy. Thomas. Despite few details in the Bible, we can perceive the personality of Thomas, an honest but pessimistic and skeptical man at certain moments. In the episode where Jesus decides to return to Judea to resurrect Lazarus, risking being stoned, Thomas then makes a comment about the decision. See what he said. Then Thomas, also known as Didymus, said to the rest of the disciples, "Let us also go, that we may die with him." This demonstrates his sincerity, but after the death of Christ,